Catching the foot is easy, but the moment your opponent stands, spins, hides the heel, or starts attacking your legs back, most ankle lock games completely fall apart. You may know how to grab the ankle and fall backward, but you do not know how to control the hips, follow the rotation, change your finishing position, or recognize when the classical ankle lock is no longer the right answer. That is why one grappler's ankle lock feels impossible to escape, while another person can squeeze with everything they have and still never get the top. That is the problem John Danaher is trying to solve in Master the Move, the Ankle Lock, a nearly 5-hour instructional available through BJJ Fanatics for $197. The biggest value is not another grip or one stronger finishing detail. Danaher is trying to turn the ankle lock from one submission attempt into a complete series of decisions. Instead of catching the foot, squeezing, losing it, and starting again, you learn how to react when the opponent stands, turns, spins, places the foot on the floor, or begins attacking your legs. The course starts with the classical straight ankle lock, but Danaher immediately explains where the normal version becomes weak. He covers the change from the Achilles grip into the ankle lock grip, the best upper body controls, different foot positions, and what may be the most important part of the entire course, stopping the opponent's hips from moving. A lot of failed ankle locks are not really caused by a weak grip. The bigger problem is that the opponent's hips are still free. They can rotate the knee, stand up, turn the foot, and keep changing the angle while you desperately pull harder with your arms. Danaher's answer is to immobilize the body first, then finish the foot. From there, he moves through belly-down ankle locks, short ankle locks, different finishing positions, the inverted foot problem, and one-handed finishes. The point is not to give you random variations. The point is to give you another answer when the first finish starts disappearing. The second volume is probably where most students will find the biggest value because it is built around defensive reactions. If the opponent gets to one knee, Danaher gives you several ways to keep attacking. If they reach both feet, he moves into sweeping and rolling options. If they spin inward or outward, he shows how your legs follow the turn, so you stay connected instead of watching the foot escape. That is the difference between knowing an ankle lock and having an ankle lock game. Knowing the move means you can finish someone who stays still. Having a real game means their first defense does not immediately end your attack. If that is the exact problem you keep having in training, the instructional link is in the description and pinned comment. Check BJJ Fanatics for any active discounts before buying. The course also covers counter-attacking from common leg entanglement positions, including standard ashigarami, the leg lace, 50-50, and the short ankle lock. This matters because real leg exchanges are not clean situations where one person attacks and the other person only defends. Both grapplers may have access to the legs, and the person who controls the hips and understands the position usually wins the exchange. There is a shorter section on ankle locks from the leg lace and Z-lock, followed by a deeper section on cross ankle locks. Danaher covers finding the correct foot position, winning the inside hip, several finishing positions, one-handed variations, and a reverse figure 4 grip. The cross ankle section may be one of the best parts of the instructional because it is treated like a real attacking system, not a small bonus chapter. It gives experienced leg lockers another way to punish opponents who are becoming too comfortable defending the normal straight ankle lock. The final volume covers entries against kneeling, one knee, and standing opponents, along with entering from the top while controlling both legs. This adds some ways to reach the position, but it also reveals the main weakness of the course. Most of the instructional is focused on finishing, controlling reactions, counter-attacking, and changing between ankle lock variations. The dedicated entry material is much shorter. If your biggest problem is that you can never reach the legs at all, this is probably not a complete answer by itself. You may still need another instructional focused more heavily on entries. The other weakness is the amount of detail. Nearly 5 hours on one submission is a lot, and Danaher does not rush through information. For serious competitors and grapplers who already attack the legs, That depth is the main reason to watch it. For someone looking for 3 quick techniques to try at the next class, it may feel slow and much bigger than necessary. This is not something I would watch once from beginning to end and expect to remember. The best way to use it would be to take one section, drill the position, and begin rounds from there. Start with hip control, then add the correct response when the opponent stands or spins. Otherwise, it can easily become another instructional that you understand while watching but cannot use during live rounds. This course makes the most sense for intermediate and advanced grapplers who already reach Ashigarami or 50-50 but still lose the foot when resistance begins. It is also useful for competitors who rely heavily on heel hooks and want a strong ankle lock when the heel is hidden or the rules do not allow rotational attacks. Kimono grapplers can still use the finishing mechanics, hip control, belly down attacks, and cross ankle locks, although the later counter-locking sections will probably be more valuable for grapplers training without the kimono. Complete beginners should probably skip it. If you do not yet recognize the main leg entanglement positions, the later decision trees and counterattacks may answer questions you are not ready to ask. I would also skip it if you only want one basic ankle lock finish, or if you are not willing to spend time positional sparring from these positions at $197. This is expensive for an instructional focused on one submission. The value depends on how often you already reach ankle locks and whether this is a real weakness in your game. If you attack the position every week but lose it as soon as the opponent begins moving, the course solves a very specific and important problem. If you rarely touch leg entanglements, most of the material will probably sit unused. For teaching clarity, Danaher is detailed and organized, although some students will find the pace slow. For real training usefulness, the hip control, defensive decision tree, spinning reactions, counterattacks, and cross-ankle material all address situations that happen during hard rounds. The course loses points because the full price is high. The entry section is limited compared with the finishing material, and it is not the easiest starting point for beginners. My final rating for Master the Move, the Ankle Lock by John Danaher, is 9 out of 10. The link is in the description and pinned comment. And check BJJ Fanatics for any active discounts before buying. Subscribe for honest Jiu-Jitsu instructional reviews before you spend your money.